and welcome to our very new look DKW. I'm so excited to be. I'm your host Sherene, and I'm joined in the studio by Mary Jo.
Hello.
And our Sam.
Oh, it's
Ladies, it's been a
lovely.
long time.
It has been, but I'm really excited today, and I'm absolutely loving the studio.
Oh, it's stunning.
Fabulous.
We are stepping up.
We are indeed.
We are stepping up and we are modernising, aren't we?
We are modernising.
But you know what? There's some core values about us that will always stay the same, including our fantastic topics. And today is no different. Today we are talking about keeping up with the Joneses. What is it about us ladies that just loves to compete when it comes to status? We do it with our friends, we do it with our family members, we do it with our neighbours. It just goes on and on and on. Very interesting topic that we'll be talking about today. And we've got a little bit of help from our personal development journalist and author Claire Anstey. She's going to be joining us after the break. But before we go into our views, we want to hear about yours. Tell us, do you suffer from status anxiety? Do you have problems keeping up with the Joneses? Let us know. Give us your comments on our Facebook page at A Different Kind of Woman. Tweet us at DKWme or call us live if you dare, 0207 686 6300. But before we go to that deep topic, let's talk about beauty. Yes, we are joined today by a very, very, very expert makeup artist for TV. She's Amandeep. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
We're coming over to you shortly.
Brilliant.
But first, let us novices talk about eyebrows. It's a touchy topic for me, please. Don't zoom into mine. Please. Don't do it. Eyebrows. Any eyebrow disasters for you ladies? Tell us.
Well, I've been doing my eyebrows for many, many years now, and I've had quite a few disasters. I've had times when I've had one eyebrow bigger than the other.
Oh, disasters indeed.
And I'm a type of person, I don't like my eyebrows thin.
Oh, okay.
I like them to be quite thick, because I've got naturally quite nice eyebrows. So I tend to like them just a little bit more enhanced. And it really, really annoys me when they thread it or they pluck it and they make it thin. So, and that's the worst thing. And the worst thing is when you've got one eyebrow bigger than the other. That is a nightmare.
That happened with me before. That's why I don't do them.
You don't? Do you know
No. I don't do them myself. I have someone.
I was about to say.
It's always
that
better
does
to
that
have
for
someone
me.
doing it yourself, I
And she
think.
does it for many years.
Oh, your eyebrows are looking fabulous.
They are.
Yes, I love
They're
it.
gorgeous.
Yes. But you know,
Tell me.
the first time I did my eyebrows, I was 23 years old.
Wow!
Yeah.
Oh my word!
They were very, very bushy. I have to be honest. They were terrible. But now I'm converted.
You were almost a
for
cave
it.
woman.
I was.
Oh, Sammy, that's a whole nother show.
Yes, indeed.
But anyway, we're just the novices. Let's go over to our makeup expert. who's
Yes,
gonna tell
I'm
us
quite
how
looking forward
to
to
do
this.
our eyebrows in the professional way. So, Amandeep, tell us a bit about yourself. Why do you do what you do? And what do you
I'm
do?
a makeup artist and I've been doing it for 5 years. I've been doing people's eyebrows for the best part of 5 years as well.
Wow.
I thread them, I wax them, and I also tweeze them as well. So I'm going to show you how to do this on Anna's lovely brows. This is our model, Anna.
Very nice to meet you, Anna. I mean, what is actually the most popular eyebrows? I know there's one called Scouse brows.
I've never heard of it.
The scouse brow
really
is basically
weird.
a really heavy brow where it's very dark, so people almost use black to create their brows, and when you look at someone, all you can see is their eyebrows. So that's a scouse brow, and it isn't the best
It doesn't
look.
look natural
No,
at all.
exactly.
It looks
doesn't look
quite
natural.
scary.
And it's very close together, so they make the bridge of the nose look really thin, but all you can see is these massive brows, and it's not very.
I don't think it's very attractive.
It's not very natural at all.
Well, you know,
very
each to their own. Each to their own.
Yes,
But Amandeep, I kind
indeed.
of already know the answer to this question, but for the purpose of the viewers, tell me, does it really make a massive difference if you shape your eyebrows or not?
It makes a huge difference. I mean, if you put a picture up without putting a frame around it, then the picture's not going to look as good. It's the same concept on your face. If you frame your face with your eyebrows, all your features are going to look more enhanced naturally, and so are your brows. So if you think of that sort of concept, then doing your brows does make a really big difference.
Wow. I want to know what's the no-nos.
Oh, okay. The no-nos, try not to fill them in too thick.
Okay.
Because if you do that, you can come across really, really heavy and really hard. And if you're going for a natural look, they're not going to look natural at all, especially if you're using a harsh pencil or a harsh wax to fill them in. A good tip is, if you're going to fill them in, start in the arch.
Okay.
With the product, and then using the excess product in the arch, fill the rest of it in the middle. because that way you're not going to have a hard line at the front, so they look a lot more natural. Generally, they look a lot more natural. Okay, so we're going to start with Anna's brows.
Okay, cool.
Anna hasn't done her brows for a little while now, so they need to be groomed. They need to be groomed. So we're going to start off by measuring. We're going to use just a Q-tip. You can use a brush or anything that you do have from the inner side of the nostril up, and that's where the brow should normally start. Okay, then from the tip of the nose, about 45-degree angle is where the arch should go. Right. And then from the edge of the nostril down to the edge of the eye is where it should end. Okay, so I'm going to show you a product that you can use. It's just a fibre gel.
Yes.
And this is just for people that literally want to have a bit of enhancement, but not a lot. So they just want to make their brows look natural, and they're not defining them too much because this doesn't really give you that much definition. Okay. It's more to just give them a little bit of something, but just make them look natural.
And where would you buy that?
Sorry?
Where would you buy it?
You can buy it in Benefit.
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy it.
So you have to have a special place to actually get this particular fibre?
Yeah, it's a fibre gel. So you would just brush the brows up using the gel, and you're going to brush them up and then round.
Wow, that really is starting to make the eyebrow look
automatically,
very neat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like controlling the lashes, isn't it?
Yeah, without even having to apply a lot of product. And we're just going to bring that down. Okay, and we're just going to do that in a circular motion at the front. If you think about backcombing your hair and teasing your hair to make it give it more volume, this sort of product does exactly that, but to your brows. Okay, so without applying any pencil, any wax or anything of that nature, automatically Anna's brows look more defined.
Yeah.
Exactly.
More defined.
And then what you would go on and do to get this natural look, you just tweeze any hairs that are underneath.
Oh, I hate this part. I do. I can't stand any type of pain.
She finds it more painful, painful.
Just underneath. Try not to touch the top of your shape because that's your natural shape. So when you start messing around with that, or when you start tweezing, you kind of get rid of your natural shape. Then it's a case of trial and error to try and get it back.
Apart from if you're really out of shape.
But nowadays the trend is to have those thick, bold brows.
Okay.
So it is a case of just tweezing the excess hairs that are underneath, and just to get that shape. So if you look at Anna's brows, automatically,
it's fab.
Just using a gel and a pair of tweezers, you've got a nice, more defined brow, but natural. It looks natural. It doesn't look like she spent hours doing it. It's very, very natural. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to create this side. And what we're going to do again, we're going to measure. So from the edge of the nose to the top point is where her brow starts. Then from the nostril through the eyeball, 45 degree, exactly.
Yes.
And the tip of the nose to the end is where her brow ends.
Love it.
What we're going to do is we're going to use a wax. This is basically going to tame your brows. Okay. So if you've got those sparse hairs that kind of point up or go in a different direction.
So you can't get your wax from your local shops, or?
No, you could just buy it from any makeup counter.
Okay.
Yeah, loads of makeup counters do waxes and pencils. There's waxes, there's gels, there's powders. So try to go for a colour that's a little bit lighter than your hair colour, so a couple of shades lighter than your hair colour, because you don't want to go too dark.
Okay.
So we're going to just use the wax, and we're just going to pop it into the brow using a flat brush. And what's nice is with a lot of the brow kits that you can purchase, they come with the tools that you need to do it. So this wax in particular has a little bit of a tint. So again, if you're a type of person that's not too keen on the gel, you could just use the wax, and that would make a difference.
So you wouldn't use both, you'd use one or the other?
Yeah, I mean, you could if you wanted to, but that's if you want further, like for a night out, for example, if you were going with a heavy smoky eye and you want your brows to be really defined as well. So that's with the wax.
I love it, because you've not actually done anything. You've not put the tweezers on, you haven't done any of that.
Nothing, just with the wax. Yeah, and now with the powder. So I like to start in the arch of the brow first with the powder. And then with any excess of the powder, I'll fill in the rest of the brow. So the idea of powder is just to fill in where your hairs aren't as deep or as dark. And you automatically, can you see? It's already starting to kind of take shape.
I love it, it's really nice.
I'm just going to do that there as well. And then with the excess that's on my powder, on the brush, I'm just going to put that into the fronts and brush that through nicely. So it's not very heavy at all.
No, it
still looks very natural.
Yeah, exactly. And
but you can actually see a glow to it,
it's lovely.
Yeah, so just with a spoolie brush, I'm just going to brush them through.
And that's
just to
normal
get the
mascara
powder.
brush, isn't it?
Yeah, just to get the powder evenly spread, so you don't want it to be darker in some areas than others. And notice it's lighter in this area, and that's what gives it that natural look. So you've got more definition than that side, but it still looks really natural.
Yeah, it does.
So what you would do is, I normally get the shape of my brow and then just brush up like that, and then just with some scissors,
and just
trim along the hairline like that. So they're all in the same, they're all going in the same direction. And then I just get my tweezers and just tweeze out any excess hairs.
And this could be done with threading as well.
Yeah, of course, all wax, exactly. It's entirely up to you what your preference is. But once you've filled in your brow, you know the shape that you want to have. So it's easier to tweeze or wax the hairs that are not in that shape.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot more better for yourself to do that. Okay.
And then, as the natural look, what's in now then?
Yeah, the natural bold look is what's on trend at the moment. You see it in Fashion Week and all of the magazines. Everyone's got those big, thick, bold eyebrows. And again, it is a trial and error. So if you were filling in your brows regularly and you were just tweezing regularly, like every few weeks, you see, okay, there's a stray hair, let's get that out. But if you're filling them in, then you know exactly what you need to take out, as opposed to going somewhere where your brows aren't filled in and starting from scratch.
What about someone who doesn't have any eyebrows? Because you know some people are quite very, very fine haired on their eyebrows. And what would they do?
For something like that, I'd use a fibre gel. Because you'd be so surprised at people that don't have brows. You use the fibre gel, all of a sudden they've got eyebrows. So using a product like gel for people that have thinner eyebrows, it gives you more of a youthful appearance. And that's what, you know, the aim is, to kind of make sure your eyebrows look nice and tamed and nice and thick. And so that gives you a more youthful appearance.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to highlight underneath Anna's brow, and that's going to give it further enhancement.
Okay.
So just using a matte tone.
Yes.
Just underneath her brow, which is a couple of shades lighter than her skin tone. And I'm going to just pop that underneath the brow, and it's going to make it pop even more.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
it's a viewer's question, actually. It's about contouring.
Yeah, no
What's all
problem.
that about, then?
I'm just going to move on to that now, actually.
Okay, I was wondering if that's what you're doing.
So that's the highlight. I've done the highlight right there. So contour, again, you're just enhancing your features. You're chiseling the areas that you want. You're basically, it's creating shadows on your face to draw out. And when you highlight, you're drawing in. So if you had a light bulb, where the light naturally hits on your skin is where you would highlight, and where it doesn't is where you would contour. So I'm going to contour using a powder that's a little bit darker than Anna's skin tone, and exactly that face that she's making is exactly what you need to do.
Okay.
Exactly. So we're going to start contouring from the ear down to this area. So for people that don't know, you can feel for your natural cheekbone. So just down like this and into this area. And as you can see, I'm creating a shadow.
So what are you actually using as your guideline then? Because I noticed she pouched her mouth.
So for people that want to do it, you can make that face. And that is the natural...
And that's your guideline?
That is your guideline that you're going to use.
Okay.
And you're just going to blend it in.
They just kind of...
Yeah, so if you think for contouring, if you use the number 3...
Right.
So you want to go up into the hairline over here.
Okay.
Down like that, and then underneath the jawline. Okay, and if you look straight, you can automatically see that shadow that's been created from this side to that side. And then what you would do is you'd highlight, using a highlighter, just on the cheekbone area. So the letter C you'd use. So if you just do that over and just...
Oh, I see. So you can make the letter C with your brush.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's where you would highlight.
To the mark, darling.
So you'd highlight in that area. So you can see automatically, just by doing a little bit of contouring, you've created a shadow which is making her cheekbones appear higher than they actually are.
Very nice.
So that's what you would do, and you'd highlight in that area as well.
Oh, that's amazing, that is, isn't it?
I'll do the other side as well, just so you can see the finished product. So again, just following the jawline. And you want to use a powder. Some people choose to use makeup or foundation to do it as well, and that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
So what about the blusher? The blusher, do they use blusher to do that? Contouring with or not?
Not necessarily.
Not at all.
Because blusher is just literally for the apples of the cheeks.
Okay, right.
And that is what you would use that for. And I'm going to use...
See, there's a difference between contouring and blusher.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, I was going to use blusher, so it's a good thing you answered.
I think most people would. They use the blusher to actually contour.
So again, I'm just going to highlight.
You can really see it, my goodness.
You can see the difference. That does make a difference.
And with regards to blusher, now you mentioned it, I'm just going to pop a little bit of blusher on Anna's cheek. So you want to pop blusher onto the apples of the cheeks and smile. And try and keep it in the same colour family as your lipstick. So if you're going for a red tone, the undertone of your blusher should be like a red peach.
Right, and if it's a pink,
you go for a more pink
tone.
Exactly.
Right.
So is that, you know the way that Anna is smiling as you are the blush?
Yeah.
Is that how you should
That's how you should. So you smile. Apples of the cheeks.
Yeah.
I got this.
Do you?
I do.
But that's
where I got that from.
But then you
that's
get
what
your
I do.
blusher all over the place,
Yeah,
and then your face
definitely.
appears bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
Right,
So
good.
smile. And then again on the apples of the
Got chubby
cheeks.
cheeks, do
Yeah,
you?
well, that's what's been happening, isn't it?
Right, so you can keep in the same colour family with your blusher.
Very nice. Beautiful.
And that's pretty much your finished look.
Oh, lovely.
It's
Amandeep, I've
amazing,
loved
very
it. This is
nice,
fantastic. All done in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that was very
Extra
quick.
investment. Thank you so much. Thank you for all
Thank
your
you so
tips.
much for having
Very
me.
much. I look
Lovely.
forward for you to do my contouring.
Yeah, mine too. All right.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we're going to be going into our topic of keeping up with the Joneses. So please stick with us. See you soon. Hello and welcome back. Today we're on DKW. We're talking about keeping up with the Joneses. That's right. Why is it that we feel that we need to compete with each other? Why are we never satisfied with who we are? So we're going to be talking about this right now. Quite excited because we've actually got our personal development journalist and author Anstey with us on the sofa.
Hello, ladies. This is a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure to have you here.
So Claire, you're a life coach. Tell us a bit about yourself first of all. Why are you here?
Well, I'm on the telly and it makes me really that's the reason why I'm here.
Just keeping up with
social
the Joneses.
media, everyone knows and everyone thinks I'm fabulous.
Fabulous, just keeping up with the Joneses.
Fabulous, keeping up with the Joneses.
I don't know where to start really because I mean the topic it's everywhere, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Facebook, all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter. Because you've done yours today, haven't you, girls? You've made sure everyone knows.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're under so much pressure to tell everyone that our lives are fabulous and how great we are, and it's just pictures and it's just other people's stories. And it's not always what you see. It's not always necessarily the truth. And how many times have you gone out, put your makeup on and kind of gone, I'm going to be okay, it's going to be a great day, when really inside you feel really rubbish. And we just get so caught up in these perceived images. And yeah, so...
Your profession now, though, but are you coming from your own experience? Is this how you used to be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even
why you know, ventured into this career?
Yeah, because I don't even like the term life coach or any of that. I'm like that. I'm right about it. You know what? I was desperate to be famous. I was a dancer because it made me popular at school. Then I decided I liked food. I was like, I can't do that. And I did presenting. I got into hospital radio.
Yes.
And then I did really well at my presenting. And I was like, you know, and it was all fame, attention. I didn't realise that at the time. And then an ex-boyfriend of mine, he killed himself.
Really?
I had an experience of someone that I really loved, that I thought was amazing, committing suicide.
So that was quite traumatising.
Very traumatising. At the time, I was on this search for this ideal job. I was like one job away from like mainstream TV in the UK. I was up against major celebrities, and I was like, this is it. When I get the job, I'm going to be it. I'm going to be so happy. And at the same time, that happened. And then I got a great job. And I was like, it was just this kind of, you know, this mind thing. It was like bizarre because I had the job. I was like, wow, I should be really happy. And I wasn't happy.
And you wasn't. So
And
it didn't fulfil. Something was still missing.
It was still missing. And then I had this other, you know, life situation where someone that I thought was amazing didn't think they were great.
Yes.
And, you know, and obviously it's quite extreme, but, you know, they, for whatever reason, took their own lives. So I had this kind of, you know, scale of these two situations, and it just flipped my career.
Yeah.
It just flipped everything. And I went on this own search to kind of refine my happiness because I had to heal because I was grieving.
Yes.
And then I also had this job that for 10 years of my life, since I was a girl, I thought...
That's what you wanted.
Absolutely. And then I wasn't happy. So everything twists and turns. And then for the last 10 years, well, nearly 10 years now, I've been finding out about all these different things that could make me happy. I've been experimenting, and now I write, and I've got a magazine, and I write about the stuff that's worked. I've had a lot of haircuts that haven't worked in the process of of trying to find myself. So this subject's fascinating to me.
You're doing something that you're passionate about now, which I believe that's a big difference.
It is,
you know.
Claire, can I just go back to your point about the loved one that you had that passed away?
Yes.
Can I ask if you don't mind
Of
to
course,
reveal?
of course. I won't be here otherwise.
Sorry, we're just on a roller coaster with you, and then suddenly you gave that news, and it was like, oh. But did you have any idea that he was unhappy? Did he show any signs at all?
No. I mean, he'd sort of dabbled in drugs, and that's the reason why he was my ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
And it was a good few years after that. We was obviously really close, and he was actually out of counselling. Normal, whatever we want to call normal. I hate doing that, but whatever normal is.
Yes.
Back living life, and we were back as friends, and it, what was going on behind the scenes was very unknown. And I'm now involved in a charity that's to do with men's mental health, and as much as we're ladies talking about this, it's a massive problem for men. It's actually on the rise for men. The media images, men's role in society. So it's not just us anymore that's kind of worrying about all this stuff. The pressure for men's even
It's such a demand.
But I think it's easier for us to talk about it than for men to talk about it.
Yes,
this is the kind of the big issue.
Claire, another thing, I just wanted to ask you again. So why do you think it is that we pretend? Like, in your career, you must come across a lot of people who are dissatisfied about their life, very unhappy, but they never show it. It's like, especially in the UK, it's almost as if we kind of condition ourselves to pretend, like you said, to be happy. We put on social networks that we're one thing, but deep inside we're crying. But why do we just not sincere or honest?
I think that because of the media, the whole keeping up with the Joneses thing is so out because of the media and because of the way we are. Whether you're in a small town and it's people in the local church or the local pub or wherever it is, or the local school. I mean, mums have it going on.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It doesn't matter what social setting you're in.
Yes.
You see that other people have got something and you haven't, and I think there's something in us that thinks, is that okay? Should I have that? What age are they? Should I have that at this age?
Yes, it's true. By 40, I should have got this.
Yes,
isn't it?
You should have. Why have you not got a mortgage? Why have you not got children? Are you not married yet?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I think that no one's actually told us that it's just okay to be us. You know what? You're actually brilliant.
Don't worry about you are.
So what do people envy the most? Do you think?
I think that we all get caught up on labels. How often do you go somewhere? I mean, we're all right. We're on telly.
We don't care.
We're fine. Jokes aside. But hi, what's your name? What do you do?
Yeah, it's so true.
We all do it. You go to the doctors and you have to tell the doctor what you do and who you are.
Yeah,
and where you live,
status,
all of that.
I mean, people get scared if they can't label us.
Yeah.
They need to, if you're at a dinner party, they need to know if you're married or single. Can you sit next to your husband or boyfriend?
This is so true.
So we're constantly being labelled.
Yeah.
So because we're being labelled externally, I think we feel under pressure to label ourselves all the time. And straight away I'm like the life coach saying, oh no, I'm not that. I do this, and I do all of these other things. And so, even I write about this stuff, and even I go, but I don't want to be labelled as that because I do this. And when do we find the balance? Are we ever going to find the balance?
Well,
But Claire,
Sorry, you got me on for the answer.
we are trying to. But Claire, you were talking about it, and I'm thinking that becomes a little bit of an obsession. And for me, whatever it's in excess, it becomes a sickness.
Absolutely.
Do you consider that keeping up with the Jones and the status and running after a life that it's not your life?
Yeah.
Is that a sickness? Do you consider that a sickness in a certain
like a
way?
mental health.
I'm not saying a mental. I don't think it. I don't know. I don't want to go as deep as that. But
because when you say sickness, it can only be some kind of mental health
yes,
status.
maybe.
I think anxiety.
That's why I'm throwing it at you.
Because even anxiety comes under mental health, doesn't it?
Yeah, and anxiety. We can be anxious about everything, whether it be our body weight, whether it be a guy's not text us back.
Yes.
And we want to text him 10 times, dating, all these things. We can create anxiety if we don't go with the flow. It's so easy to say, isn't it? Let's go with the flow. Unconditional love is about, if you love people, let them go. But, you're like, yeah, I'll let them go. But, they've got 4 cars and I'd like 4 cars. We can get really caught up in stuff. And it does all come back to knowing who you are, loving who you are, loving your lumps and your bumps and your quirks, and knowing what's right for you is right for you. So I've always said this analogy, it's all good and well with people watching the show. Yeah, but you're sitting there, you've got your hair all curly, your hair all this. This wasn't me a few years ago. This is fun to me. I love getting dressed up in the morning. I love playing with my hair. My hair's always a different colour. I've got friends that take bets on what my hair's going to be. But I'm having fun being me.
But I'm saying that, but who do we envy the most? Is it people like ourselves, do you think?
I think we envy what we don't know because we don't know ourselves. And until we know ourselves, and that's so why I kind of went on that tangent, because I feel comfortable being me, but you might be really shy.
Yes.
You may be a bit geeky. And I think we may think that that's not enough. We may think that we should be this other person because we adore what they've got, because we adore people when they shine.
Yes.
But we can only shine when we're us.
Yes.
You're not going to shine being me. I'm not going to shine being you. And whether, you know, you're into country and western music and that's your passion and you want to dress like that and act like that and dance like that, or whether you're into hip hop and you dress another way, or whatever it is, when you're celebrating who you are, you shine. And I think we get envious with people that we see shine. And I don't think there's a box for who we envy, but when we see people having fun, when we see them being happy, we get envious. Now, whether they're truly happy, that's a whole other show.
Yeah.
One thing I saw at Christmas, and it really stuck with me, was Britney Spears on Boxing Day, I think, in England. She had a documentary. She's had all the highs and lows, all these things.
Oh, yes, I did watch it, actually.
Yeah,
yes.
and you know what the nicest thing was that she was talking about? She had her kids and her current boyfriend, whoever it is, and her family, and they were in the regular family home, having a Sunday family dinner.
Yes.
And you think, you know what? We all want this, this, and this.
But
that was where she was the most happiest.
Yeah.
Most of us can do that.
Yeah.
We can all do a family meal with our friends and our family. So we just get caught up in this stuff.
Can we get over these feelings, though?
I think we do when we kind of read the books, or we get shown the shows like this, or we have the friends that have kind of learned from it.
Sorry, because before we go into like the process of what can we get rid of it, is there areas in our life that we become more dissatisfied than others? Like for example,
ladies.
Like for example, your postcode, the postcode you leave.
Yeah.
That is a big thing for many people. But then again, the kind of car you drive, is there like, or your relationship status, is there like areas in your life that are more touchy than others?
You know what? I think
It depends who you are.
Yeah, it depends who you are. It depends where you are. If you know, postcodes, you know, for certain people because of houses, children relates to schools. Doesn't it? You live in this postcode, your kid's going to go to this school. I think it's very much in your train of thought, but it does all lead back to one thing: money. You know, because
Tell it like it is, Claire.
It's money.
It's finance, isn't it?
It's all about money, because if you haven't, you know, if you live in a certain postcode or you don't, it's relating to money because you can't find that postcode. So it all comes back to money. And you know, I was working on a show the other day, and I was working with a producer, and he's doing all kinds of studies at the moment. And the more in the UK. The news, everything, all the different money things that are going on, but generally we've got more money.
Okay. Yeah.
We now have more anxiety, more alcohol abuse, more weight issues. So is money, you know, money's clearly not the route to happiness, because money's gone up, all this other stuff goes up. But I know as well, if I'm in a restaurant and it's got 4 things on the menu, I can pick. But if I'm in a restaurant
and you can't afford,
it's got 20 things on the menu, I'm so confused. It's not a good experience. I'm like, what can I have? What if that's better? What if you've got a better plate than I have? And we've got so much choice now.
Yes.
Is it because we've got so much choice that we feel under so much pressure, and then these choices we relate to money? How many holidays do you have this year? Where do you go on holiday? You know, everyone's open to choices. So is that something that's a problem? Apparently, the same person that was telling me about these kind of stats, he was saying to me that in the South Pacific, and I tried to look it up before I came on air and I couldn't find it. It's called like the Happy Experiment. They looked at who's the happiest in the world, and it's a small island of people off the South Pacific, a small island. And their government have even got like a happy manifesto. But guess what they haven't got? They haven't got any advertising on the island.
Well, this is it. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So they keep it real.
Well, then you can't see
their choices. Their menu.
They've got no choice.
They haven't got a menu. Yeah. They're just day-to-day things. I mean, there's other things obviously involved, and it's just, you know, a small touch on it, and I was unable to look it up to get more details.
It's what people say, that sometimes the simplest things in life are the ones that make you happier.
Yeah.
And you are in search of all these complicated things and many other things, but the simplest things is like being with a friend.
Absolutely.
It makes you happy.
Well, do you kind of go, oh, you remember Julie, 4 cars?
You don't do that. No, you don't.
Love that. You don't. You go, oh, you know what? When I was really poorly and someone came around with lasagna,
Indeed.
or this person
Yeah,
sent me a
remember.
card in the post. That's the stuff that we
That's what
remember.
sticks,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Well, that's the stuff you're supposed to remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've got to throw something at you. Right. Alain de Botton, he's a philosopher and author of Status Anxiety, states that there are several reasons why we want status. Lovelessness, fulfilling expectations from others, and meritocracies, meaning you are measured in society according to your intelligence and talent. What do you think about this, ladies?
I think it's true. I agree. I don't think it's right.
Yes.
But we do. Right, my friend's brother's a footballer. He's a retired footballer now, ladies, and he's married for you. He's a footballer. And he used to go to clubs and tell ladies he was a plumber.
Serious?
Oh,
I get it.
My dad's a plumber. There's nothing wrong with being a plumber.
Yeah, no.
But because he wanted people to get to know him for him.
Yeah.
I that's nice.
He ended up, he's married to a childhood sweetheart now, somebody that knew him at school. Because obviously, you know, and that's a nice little story. But because you get attached to, you know,
status. You do.
Again, money. Where does this lead? What doors does this open? But, you know, we are human. We do want to achieve great things. We want to know that we've done stuff. But we measure, you know, society and families.
That's
and
what I was going to say.
Yeah,
The family,
I don't agree with the way our society does that. I think it's really important to have passion for what you do, because I think if you're doing something that you're not passionate about, you're never going to give it 100%, are you?
No.
And it's like a false perception of what you're trying to create. So I think if you're doing something you're passionate about it, I think it's going to make the world of difference to what result you're going to get from it.
Yeah, and it's funny you talk about that and you spoke about family, because I was watching a show on TV the other day, and there was this young girl that her family, they had this vision for her to be a solicitor, to be this and this and that, and she tried many courses. She changed course in the university 3 times because she was never happy with any of them. Because what she really wanted to be was a fashion designer. But she never had the courage to tell her parents.
Even the peer pressure from parents and things like that.
But you guys, let's be honest. I know what you're saying, Sam, how you disagree, right? And I know what you're saying about friendships and the little things and what's important. But let's face it, okay, friendship. Let's throw this at you. Friendships. We're all friends here.
Yes.
The fact of the matter is, we're all more or less in the same status. If you can't go on holiday with me because you're poor, how's our friendship going to survive? Yeah. If I can't bring you to Costa and then you can buy a coffee, you know, for me and I for you, what's our friendship? Every time it's going to be up, I'm going to have to pay for her. You can't say it doesn't affect, don't you think?
I think it does affect. I think it does affect, because I've had experience where, you know, I've got certain girlfriends, and as I've been progressing in my life, I actually start to feel quite sensitive to what I say to my girlfriend, especially if maybe their relationship is not going so well, or maybe their status is not been so established and things like that. And I have known friends that have really become quite, not depressed, but quite, not happy about your life progressing.
Yeah, but bitter, isn't it?
Yes, they become a little bit bitter because they're seeing you progressing and their life seems stuck. So it's like you having to pick and choose what you speak about with your friends. Like some friends, you can speak about anything, do anything, and you know that person's not going to feel they're going to be happy for you. But some friends, let me hold back because I don't want to hurt her. I don't want her to feel uncomfortable with, speaking about myself all the time. So you tend to want to give more of that listening ear to that particular friend.
It's a hard one. On like a scientific level, we all vibrate. Like we all have a vibe. So when you walk into a room and you kind of go, oh, I don't really no, something feels odd in here.
Yeah.
Or a different frequency. Yeah, you listen to one radio station, you like the music. You listen to another radio station, you don't like the music. And on a scientific level, that's how we work. Now, the more conscious you get, the more you grow. They can actually record love. They can record it in music, the actual vibration. They can actually record it in your body.
Really?
So we do scientifically vibrate. So you start to shift. And in life, you do find that you kind of grow apart from people, but it's how you deal with that. You know, it's how it is difficult. It's something you learn, and coming away from people slowly is something that with growth that will happen. It doesn't mean to say that you can't pick up that phone to somebody in a few years or a few months. It's not about saying, well, you can't be my friend anymore because you can't go to these restaurants with me. I've got friends I was with friends last night that I've known since I was 11.
Yeah.
Our lives are so different.
Yeah.
But their life's their life, and they love that. They wouldn't want to live my life. I definitely wouldn't want to live their lives. They've got children and they're teachers, and I respect it so much. But I'm like, I can't look after myself properly, let alone a group of 30 children. I can look after myself properly, I promise.
But you have that love and respect for them still,
and
isn't
that's
it?
the key word. It's the love and the respect. We're not all the same, and we try and be the same. We're different, and we need to celebrate it.
Right, I love that.
I love that.
There's no one more important than anyone else or better, but we are different, and that's okay. It's okay if someone is blissfully happy and they are cleaning people's garbage. I couldn't be around smelly stuff or old food, but if they love their job, that's perfect. And if someone wants to be a teacher, that's perfect. If someone wants to be a rocket scientist,
right.
it's when you try and make the rocket scientist the dustman or that lovely fashion designer the solicitor. That's when we get unhappy, and that's when we get unhappy with the Joneses situation, because we're trying to be something outside of ourselves, and then it's one step and then another step, because we get the car, we get our kids in the same school as so-and-so from church or from whoever it may be, the university friends. We're matching, and we're not true to ourselves. So our vibrations are freaking out because we're trying to fit into that radio station. We're trying to get our song on Jazz FM, and we're hip-hop.
Can I quickly just say something about what you're saying? Because it all sounds so beautiful and poetic, and I truly believe in what you're saying. I do.
Yeah.
But how did you arrive to the stage where you are now? How did you get there? This is what I want to know.
It is important.
Yeah. Because it sounds wonderful, but how did you get there?
You know what? I'm saying it, but on a day-to-day basis, it's hard. I'm working on a program at the moment where I'm living on my feeling, and I'm recording it. And I've spent the last 3 weeks crying into like video diaries. Relationship didn't work. He didn't call me. I didn't get like a full day. You know, we're human. We have to. And I think that's why I kind of go the coach thing at the beginning, you know, and I was joking about it, because we're all human. If we try and pretend that we're an expert or that we're the best of the best all the time, when we're kidding ourselves.
I think we are always learning, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've been on courses, I've read books, I've learnt from friends. You know, when we're emotionally reacting to our feelings, we normally do the wrong thing. How many times have you said the wrong thing, or social media, you text, it's so quick. When we listen to our feelings and we acknowledge what's going on, we can be true to ourselves. Do we really want that car? Do we really want to go to that restaurant? You know, is that friend really right for us? Because if they're not celebrating our success when we'd celebrate theirs, is it actually time for us to realise that they're not who we thought they were, rather than thinking that because we're successful, they're jealous? Maybe it's up to us to step away.
It's all about being rational, isn't it? It's about being rational. It's basically what it is. It's about being rational. It's like a decision that you make. It's decision every moment of the day, every day. That's what keeps you happy, right? Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, you've got to stick with us.
I will.
We've got to go for a break, but we'll be back for more as we're going deeper into this topic about keeping up with the Joneses. Stick with us. Hello, welcome back, and this is DKW, and we've been talking about keeping up with the Joneses, and it's been a fantastic show so far. We've had author, life coach, and all sorts. Claire on with us, which we're very happy. She's keeping up with the Joneses by being on the show with us, DKW Live. Anyway, we received some emails. We're going to go over to Sandra, and we're going to comment on those. So, Sandra, what have people been saying?
Actually, I was watching the show from behind the scenes, and there was a comment that you made.
Yeah.
A lady sent an email exactly, similar. I'll read it out to
Great
you.
minds.
Linda from North London said, "Hope you ladies are well. This is an interesting topic, and just a few weeks ago, I had an issue with one of my friends where she couldn't afford to eat the food at the place we ate. I picked up most of the tab and she felt awkward. I really wanted to go to the restaurant, but sometimes I feel bad picking places which are expensive. I earn more than my friend and I care about her dearly, but also want to go to nice places. I think I'll save expensive places for my slightly wealthier friends. Not sure how to deal with this one, but keep up the good work.
Claire, how would you respond to that, my love?
Well, you can save those restaurants for treats. I've got a similar situation with some of my friends, and what can you do? You don't want to make someone feel bad for not being able to afford somewhere, but you do want to go to nice places. I mean, it is one of those things. But hopefully that lady, like us here, got lots of friends. So it's kind of, you don't want to divide people, but unless you're taking someone for a birthday treat, then do go with the friends that can afford it, and then go to another place with the other friend, or even get your friend to suggest the restaurant so she's comfortable.
I want to throw a spanner into the work. I just think that's not a real friend.
Really?
Personally, I'll be honest with you. I
would
think,
take her out. Would you
would you
just leave her there?
Yeah, I wouldn't think anything of it. I just think,
just say,
you're
come on,
friend.
my treat.
Yeah, if I win the lottery tomorrow, you are going to be right up there with me because you are my friend.
I love that.
If I need to invest in you, I will, because we're friends, we're true friends. That's what I think. And I would expect that from my friends, those who are true friends. Like Mary Jo, if you win the lottery tomorrow, I'm expecting to also be
We all go on a cruise.
Sherene, I know.
But it's funny that you are saying that, because during the break I was telling Claire that our lives change, and today my situation might be very good, but tomorrow my situation might not be as good. So that friend,
do you give up on that friend just because of your status change?
So we always have to think about that. That life is a.
Yeah, it's like a
how do you say
cycle,
it?
Isn't it?
Like the Big Ben, not the Big Ben, the London Eye. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. So you never know how your life is going to be tomorrow.
That's true, and I think these kind of things actually are very good for your friendship, because they test your friendship.
Yes,
it shows you who is your real friend.
Your real friends. That's very true.
Because if I always go out with you, we're just regulars, just average Joes, and we're always going out, and you do well in your career, and you can afford to go to a better restaurant. And I start seeing you on Facebook with another friend all the time, and we used to always go out, I would feel bad.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's quite hard for people is accepting gifts. So with the particular email, the friend felt awkward. So if the friend felt that awkward, obviously pursuing that is not necessarily the right action. But I totally agree with you. Like, friends it's not necessarily about the money, it's about sharing.
Genuine.
There's no point having all the money in the bank and then not sharing it with the people you love. Because that's why you strive so hard in the first place, is to give it to the people you love.
Yes.
But it is an interesting thing. And monks actually accept everything. There's a famous book about a monk actually being given a Ferrari, and they say yes to all gifts.
Oh, lovely.
And so they don't necessarily.
I'm all with that.
Yeah, so I'm like, if it's good enough for the monks to accept all gifts on an act of grace, then we should embody that as well. Because
I think so.
It's hard for a lot of people to accept gifts. You say it's okay for your rich friends to take you to a restaurant, but really, deep down, would you accept that and not feel weird or bad about it?
No, I wouldn't. No.
I like that.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people wouldn't though.
But you do. I mean, I like to give people gifts, but you do get different reactions.
Yeah.
And some people like, oh no, you shouldn't have. Oh, why did you do? They actually feel quite bad that you've bought them a gift, and I'm thinking, oh, that's quite strange. Strange reaction.
I might say that, but it's just out of politeness.
Oh,
In true, I'm very happy.
I will continue buying gifts.
Bring it on, Sam. Any more emails, Sandra?
Yes, we have one from Lorraine. She said, I'm having a complex about the fact that I live in a really nice area in London, but I live in rented accommodation. All the parents of my children's classmates live in beautiful, big owned homes, and I have an issue with inviting them over for play days. I feel embarrassed of my tiny place when we go to their places for play days. Their lifestyle makes me feel inadequate, and I feel I can't keep up, having quite established myself in life. I wish I could just be content with what I do have. Beautiful and healthy children. I wish.
I mean, what tips and advice do you have for that? Because
you know what, gratitude is a huge thing. Being thankful for what you've got. It's you're thinking outside of yourself of what you haven't got. You just have to step in and she's thinking about her lovely children, but she's got a beautiful, clean home, tidy home. All of those small things. Right. If you focus on those and focus what you do have and what you don't have, it's just drawing your attention. That's just a real small tip
I
that
like
kind of
that.
steps you away from those things. And, you know, just we again, it's the, you know, perception of what that person has. They may have that big house, but, you know, have they got the family network, the love, the kindness, the joy, those kind of things that you have in your life? But again, rather than kind of go, well, wonder if they've got this or wonder if they've got that. You don't need to know that. Just kind of be thankful for what you have got.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and I do like that too. Okay, I've got nothing else to add to that one. That's good.
On that note, let's read our final email from Leanne. She said, I used to get stressed so much with trying to impress my parents. I studied hard, did the job they wanted me to do in a high-powered job. I did all that was required of me, and then one day I just cracked under pressure and decided I wanted to go into arts. And now I've gone back to college. I'm doing what I truly love, and to be honest with myself, my parents aren't really happy, but I was just so miserable to live my life for others.
Yeah, we did discuss this.
We did.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier about, you know, it's really, really important to be doing something that you're passionate about. I mean, not in every case you can do it, but certainly I think that if you're doing something to please somebody else, you're never going to be happy.
It's so hard though, the pressure of it, because it is really, really hard for you to step out and be bold and say, do you know what, let me go against the grain, especially when it's your family. That's all you've ever known. You've grown up with your family, they've given you the ideals in life, they've told you how you should be, and then suddenly you're trying to step away from all of that. Doesn't it take a strong person? How do you stand up and say, no, this is what I really want to do, and I really don't care about what you think?
When happiness is what everyone's striving for. If you're, I mean, the first step for something like that is if you're providing for yourselves in all the ways that, you know, you were beforehand. You know, if you're still acting in a responsible way, if you're still being kind, if you can still, you know, pay for things in the same way, you know, there really is, you know, no reason for parents to or family to put that stress on you, and that's a nice way of actually kind of trying to communicate it across to the parents. But again, it's taken outside of yourself, working on your inner guilt. And is a great way of actually kind of separating those feelings, because we feel guilty. We have no reason to feel guilty, but we do. And there's things like affirmations you can do. You can find various exercises on the internet that enable you to stop feeling guilty. And once you stop feeling guilty, you won't feel the need for that conversation.
That's very good.
Because you're still making the phone calls, you're still showing the love, you're still doing all the nice stuff, but you won't feel that you've got to apologise for being you, because that's really what you're doing. You're apologising for being you, and you should never have to apologise for being you. So take yourself out of the context of the problem and go into yourself. Always go back into yourself. That's the key thing. And again, for that situation, it'd be working on your inner guilt, because you don't need to feel guilty. Things like affirmations, exercises, there's various stuff out there.
Oh, lovely.
There you go.
Oh, I don't feel guilty at all. Lovely. Thank you so much, Claire.
Good.
So, Sandra, you've also got some news for us. Tell us.
I do
Share the
indeed.
news.
Well, we all love Facebook, right?
Well,
I'm
yes,
sure
I
we all
do.
We like to browse on Facebook, see what our friends are up to, you know, holidays, etc., all these things. However, I have some news.
Oh, dear.
Time.com reports that those Facebook photos of your friends' vacation can actually make you feel lousy. Yes, indeed. Skimming through photos of their success can trigger feelings of envy, misery, and
Similar to what we
loneliness,
spoke about.
according to researchers from a German university. And the scientists did a study on 600 people on Facebook, and they discovered that 1 in 3 felt worse after visiting Facebook.
Wow. I can believe that, though. I can believe that.
Do you have you ever come across people who've had this problem, Facebook complex?
I think it's quite normal, isn't it? You know, we can get really caught up in, again, you know, to be fair, if I'm in an airport, I get depressed because I want to go on the plane. We have to time manage. You know, rather than looking at what other people are doing, why don't we spend 10 minutes doing something for ourselves?
Yeah.
It's just little tricks of kind of changing our state of mind or changing our behaviour. So if we are finding that we're getting upset by looking at Facebook, why don't we walk around the block, you know, go and see a neighbour, make a phone call, do something that's involving us into a real life interaction rather than, you know, that screen. Yeah. So just take ourselves away from that, or actually, another way of doing it is go, you know what? If they can do that, so can I.
Yeah. I love it. I can do it as well.
Yeah, I can do that. True. So look at getting a holiday. Think about where you want to go. If it's something that's, you know, not possible at the moment, how can you save for it? What could you do? You know, there's ways of actually, rather than being envious, thinking, I'd like to do that too. How can I?
Yeah, and seek advice.
Absolutely.
There's always
Can I just
advice
say, you know,
out
on
there.
Facebook, that's the thing about Facebook. You never put on your everyday life situations, maybe on Instagram, but on Facebook, you want to put the best version of yourself out there all the time. But do you guys ever get like disappointed or upset when you don't get many likes or comments? You thought your photo was fab. Be honest.
I always get loads of comments. No, I'm joking. I found this
Not really, I have to say, I don't.
I don't as well.
You don't? All right, so why do you put your picture on Facebook?
For my family to see.
For your family to see, all right.
Yeah, and that is my way. I don't get to see my family as often as I'd like to. So that's my way of them keeping up with the Jones. How's that? But no, I do like
All
posting.
right, then, I'll let them off this time. Sandra. Any more news, Sandra?
Okay, we have news from the Huffington Post, sorry, tongue-twisting one there. In recent years, women have had to contend with the spread of girl-on-girl jealousy as a social norm, from Bridget Jones to bridesmaids. There's a popular expectation that we'll envy one another's perfect hair, house, husbands. Jealousy amongst women is such a common phenomenon because of insecurities that are implanted when we're younger. So it's especially common in young females with so much emphasis placed on body, beauty, and dieting, etc. So psychologists believe that there are two types of jealousy. I found this quite interesting. This word is a bit tongue-twisting for me. Benign and malice. Malice is normal, but benign and malice. Malice, as we all know, is envy, bitter. You know, you think you've got to be equal to the person and say, no, if she can have it, then I'm going to have it. So I'm going to put her down, tear her down. That's what the psychologist says. However, benign envy, on the other hand, has an aspirational aspect. It's more of, if she can do it, maybe I can too.
Yes.
That's better.
It's a bit similar to what you were just discussing now on
yes.
Facebook. If they do it, I can do it too. So it's kind of a benign type of jealousy. Better one.
One of those types of jealousy is going to get you doing nothing. The other one's going to get you moving.
Progressing,
Do you want to be sitting
No one
and
moving.
moaning, or do you want to step forward?
Yes.
You want to move, you want to move.
You want to move forward, progress.
Why can't we just be happy for each other as women? Why are women so jealous of each other anyway?
It all comes from fear. It just comes from fear. You think you're not good enough. And again, if you work on yourself and you realise you are good enough, then you're going to feel, you're going to be happy celebrating everyone else. And if you do have envy, it's going to be the good type, where you're going to kind of go, yes, let's take action. I'd like a piece of that action as well. But also, it's very easy to talk,
But in practice, it's different.
I'm still practicing every day myself.
But can I just ask just another question? Sorry, Sam, I'm cutting you all the time. Why is it that it seems to be more women than men? Because, like, for example, I look at my husband and my brothers, they're just so not like this. They're just not. They don't have this thing of, I need to keep up with the Jones. Although the thing about cars and things like that, but with women, it's so intricate. There's so many details, so many different layers. Why is it more with women than men?
We're more social and we're emotional. So we talk about our emotions and we talk socially about them. Guys don't. So the guys have the insecurities. They do have, the evidence is there. They have all these insecurities. But they just don't talk about it in the way that we do. And if they are getting, if we're filling out a form and we're talking about our insecurities, we think, yes, we want people to know.
Yeah.
Guys don't. So they're going to say they've got no insecurities. But they have. They're just not telling anyone.
So we're so much more
ladies.
critical than men, aren't we?
We are. Look, I'd like to thank you so much, Claire, for coming, and to thank all our wonderful guests that have come into the show. This has been a fantastic show, fantastic. And just to conclude, keeping up with the Joneses, doing this, it only can do two problems, like you were saying. Number one, if you are jealous of trying to compete with your neighbour, you're only going to bring hurt to yourself. However, if you love yourself, if you look to value yourself, looking deep inside yourself and build yourself, you can see what's going on with others and use that to build yourself, to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Till next week, it's DKW. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.